Welcome everyone to V8 Online's live and exclusive coverage of the iRacing.com's V8 Supercars official online series, proudly brought to you by good friends of V8 Supercar Fan Group, Direct Clutch Services, and our very own V8's online superstore. Stephen Sandman Clark and the host chair for V8 Online's live and exclusive coverage of round 10 of the iRacing V8 Supercar series from Watkins, Glen, broadcasting, of course, in glorious high definition. And joining me in the commentary box, my co-driver as always, Leo Gray. Leo, how are you, mate? And Happy New Year.
Yeah, thanks, Sandman. Fantastic to be back here. Fantastic to be back broadcasting again, and welcome back to yourself. It's been a while.
Yeah, thanks, mate. It's a shame when real life commitments get in the way with work and everything else. And then, of course, we had a little break here at V8 Online for Christmas and New Year. So hopefully everyone had a good time over the holiday. But now it's time to get back into it. And my God, round 10 already. So the season's fast coming to a close.
That's right. But there's been some exciting racing happen over the last couple of weeks, and there's plenty more still to come. Because, of course, we're at Watkins, Glen, and we've been looking forward to this one all season, haven't we?
Mate, what a race it's going to be too. 53 laps around Watkins, Glen. These boys have got their work cut out for them, and it's good to see a bit of strategy coming into play tonight because I think it's going to be 2 full fuel tank loads for the race, but there's a couple of people that have decided to maybe save some fuel and make those pit stops just that little bit shorter. So a bit of strategy coming into hand.
Well, that's right. 53 laps around here is just over 208 kilometres, so it is going to be a long race. Going to need to take some fuel, but anywhere that you can buy yourself a bit of time is going to be of benefit. And if you can make a shorter pit stop, a couple of seconds in the pits is a lot of space on the track.
Now, I love this racetrack. We haven't had this layout for quite some time. I believe season 4 back in 2012 was the last time that we visited the, I guess you can call it the Cup layout. It's very familiar in the Sprint Cup series. The NASCAR boys use this circuit with the chicane down the back, but it does make for good racing. But one thing you've got to take into consideration is, of course, the new changes to iRacing, where if you get too many off-track penalties, it'll be an exclusion from the race. So the guys have really got to watch that through the bus stop chicane.
They do, but with the rest of the track, it's pretty well enclosed by walls, so you can pretty well bet that if you're going to go off here, you're going to go off in a big way and it's going to hurt. So I think that the guys will be pretty safe for the most part, but then, of course, with how close the racing can get here, going to be very easy to get tangled up with another driver, which you definitely don't want to be doing.
So it's going to be interesting to see some of these guys as far as the way they work cut out for them. 53 laps around here is a nice old length for a race.
Yep, it will be a fantastic run for sure. And I believe we've got one of the Multi-21 sim racing boys here to take us through it. We'll say good day to Bo Cattell.
Hey, boys.
How are you, mate? How's your preparation been leading up to Watkins Glen?
Yeah, done a little bit of work. Just thought I had a ripper quality time, but it's turned out to put me in like 14th spot because there's a few tenths between the top 20, so it's pretty interesting.
It's incredible, isn't it? Just our close qualifying times. We haven't quite touched on that. We will a little bit later, but I tell you what, a tenth or two will make you a nice little gain up the leaderboard.
Yeah, absolutely. So have to see what happens in the final quali sesh, but got this lap to worry about now.
You'll be right, mate. No doubt you've done quite a few laps around here, so I'm pretty sure you know what you're doing. When you come up towards the end of this lap, mate, we'll hand it over to you and you can tell us just how it's done to punch out a fast one around here at Watkins Glen.
No worries at all. So it's important to get a good run out of the last corner here. You've got to try and hold forth and not quite nick the curb because it'll push you wide. Ease on the accelerator. The start finish line, brake as late as you can here.
Just a couple of technical issues there with Bo. We might try and have another crack at that. We believe we've just had a little bit of an issue there with iRacing, so we'll try and get some pictures back to everyone else. But while we've got you on the mic, mate, what's the difficult part about Watkins Glen? Trying to punch out a fast lap around here, what's the key?
You just got to have a fair bit of precision. You got to stay off the curbs in a lot of the fast corners, but through the bus stop you got to take a fair bit of curb without getting too hungry, and that's the hardest part. You can have a great lap and it all comes undone there if you get an off track or a slowdown. So it's quite a simple layout, but it's pretty hard to get right.
Must be a little bit nerve-wracking too, mate, now that they've introduced the if you get 17 incidents in a race, it's you get to sit on the sidelines, and that doesn't help for a championship points day.
Yeah, that's right. You just got to be really, really, really careful, and yeah, you can't be quite as aggressive as you might have once been. It's all it's probably a good thing though. Just keeps it that little bit more tidy and contact to a minimal.
With us
so we'll
running
just-
the cup layout, Bo, how do you think this affects the racing compared to the non-chicane versions we've run before?
It probably eliminates a passing area. Obviously, at the end of the long straight, you can't really get past there anymore. So you really only have two spots: the second last turn and the first turn. So yeah, it just makes it that little bit harder, but also spaces out the field a little bit, which is good.
And not a bad season so far, mate. It's currently sitting in P6 in the championship, so this year hasn't been too bad for you.
Yeah, it's been a big stepping stone. Obviously, first season with a team, so it's really helpful being able to collaborate with the guys on setups and just have that support. It's made a very big difference. So, very appreciative of the guys at Multi 21.
So we just saw we almost sorted with our technical issues. We apologise that for everyone at home, but we should be there in just a few moments. But mate, it does make a big change when you join a team. You've got all these other drivers to throw a bit of feedback around and share setup information. It does change your racing tenfold, doesn't it?
That's right. It's little things you don't think of, like you've got a group of as many as 4 guys on the track that you just absolutely do not want to take out. Not that you want to take anyone out, but yeah.
All right, mate, I reckon we've got our technical issues solved, mate, so we might get you to go again. Sorry about that, but show us just how it's done around here at Watkins, Glen.
No worries at all. If I muck this one up, that's my excuse. Last one was the best one. Alright, so like I said before, try not to hit that curb because you'll push wide and then it's all over. So just make 6th gear crossing the line. Brake as late as you can here. Now you don't want to take too much curb on the inside or again you'll be pushed wide. So that was probably a little bit too much, but that's alright. Hold as close to this inside curve as you can. Same with the next one. Short shift to 6th. Just make sure that you don't hit the outside wall. I found that I was holding 5th and going to 6th just makes it that bit easier not to hit the wall. So again, just before the 500 board, down to 4th. Fair bit of curb. Dab of the brake just to get the nose turned in left. Hold a bit of speed into here and manage the throttle around this long right-hander. Try and pick when to get on the throttle and ease it on so don't get too sideways. Into 6th. This is a very tricky corner. You've got to try and make the apex. Bit of sideways there. I hold 4th through the last corner. And manage the throttle, bit of sideways again. And across the line, pretty quick lap. Not quick, literally, but it's over quick.
It doesn't take long, does it? You're saying that, there we go, 1 minute 11.4 to get round here, but it does feel like you blink and you miss it around this place.
That's right. It's a bit daunting with the 50, whatever it is, laps. I think it's 4. But it does go pretty quick because the racing's exciting and you're very fast the whole time.
Now, final qualifying's only a few minutes away, mate. You're going to have another crack, or are you fairly happy with the car, or you reckon you can probably pinch another couple of spots?
Or I'll be pushing it to grab another 10th or 2, but I'll definitely try my hardest.
All right, mate. Well, like I said, qualifying's only about 3 or 4 minutes away, so we might let you get away, but appreciate you stopping by here at V8's Online, mate. All the best for tonight, and fingers crossed we're talking to you a little bit later on this evening.
No worries at all, guys. Thank you very much.
Cheers, Bo Cattell, showing us just how it's done. I love this place. Watkins Glen is such a fast racetrack, but like we just saw, it's such a fast lap as far as, the lap's over before you know it, and it doesn't take much to make a little whoopsie, and it can make your race go pear-shaped fairly quickly.
That's right. No margin for error at all. We will touch on it properly once we get into that qual session, but if Bo was to improve his time by just 1/10, he'd move from 14th to 7th on the grid.
How crazy is that? That's sensational. It's exactly what you want to see with nice close quarters racing, but so super frustrating when you've only got to chase so you can make that sort of game.
Fortunately, the racing here has always been as close as it is, and overtaking does seem a little bit easier compared to some places, which is a bit strange given the high speed. But qualifying is still going to be ultra critical for setting up your whole entire race, because you need to be out front to begin with, and it's so hard to make up time because the times are so very close.
Yeah, speaking of that, just have a look how close it is for the top 10. Madison Down, our fastest so far, with a 1:10.541. Second place, great job by Michael Fabian, P2, 1:10.571. John Emerson, third, 10.593. Matty Hill in fourth with a 10.607. Var Ritchie's in fifth, a 10.638. Justin Ruggier in sixth, 10.687. Sean Kelly, seventh, 10.703. Mitch McLeod in eighth with a 10.812. Jared Fussell in ninth with a 1:10.814. And rounding out your 10, Chad Chastain, 1:10.843. So literally nothing in it from 10th to 1st.
That's right, and did just want to quickly point out there, Chad Chastain is running with the V8 Supercar Americas group. He occasionally does jump into our races here, and we've started to broadcast those events. So they'll be live Saturday mornings, I believe it is. And so that's a new addition for V8's Online, so jump on board and follow that along.
Yeah, it's been a nice little addition over the break for V8's Online with the V8's Americas team, and brilliant race. He absolutely dominated. I think he won by about 32 seconds. So really cut the mustard on the rest of the guys there and showed them just how it's done at Watkins Glen. It was a great race.
That it was indeed. But tell you what, I'm sure we're going to have an absolute ripper ahead of us. Do you remember the one last season that we had? That was an epic battle that Madison Down, I believe, came out on top of. But this one's going to be a different animal altogether with those pit stops.
It was good to see Madison because he actually wasn't real familiar. He doesn't really enjoy this place. He always had a case of hitting the wall up through the fast S's, and even though he could run fast here, he never really could put it together. So it's good to see he's finally managed to suss this place out. So we're not too far away. We're only about a minute or so away from qualifying, but the championship standings are looking quite good. Looks like we've got Madison Down leading the points at the moment, so fairly comfortable at this stage. But John Emerson, the big improver for this season, really taking it to Madison. He's in second place. Dean O'Brien in third. Renz Brookman in fourth. Michael Fabian in fifth. Bo Cattell in sixth. Tobias Zerni in seventh. Josh Muggleton in eighth. Var Ritchie's in ninth, and Ian Ford rounding out your top 10 in the championship so far.
With the holiday season and all that, a couple of guys have missed some rounds, including guys like Josh Muggleton. So what it means is that the championship is not really going to be sorted itself out until the very last race. So it means we're going to have an exciting battle to take you all the way to the finish for, and I can't wait to see how it plays out.
You got a feel for Muggleton, don't you? He had such a tremendous start to this season. Didn't look like anyone was going to stop him from stop winning races at the start of the championship, but. Again, real life comes into play, and the old boy got married while on his break. So, and I think he's currently on his honeymoon at the moment. So, unfortunately, missing a bit of time. But be good to see Muggo back in the seat. But it really did sort of change the championship a little bit.
That's it. But at the same token, these drop weeks do give you an opportunity to come back from events like that. Of course, Madison Down had a little bit of time off, and he's currently leading the points as we stand. You wouldn't have really thought that would be the case about 3 weeks in, but it's amazing how quickly things can change.
So we're just about ready for a final qualifying for the iRacing V8 Supercar Series, and you talked about just how close the times are, and it's going to be really crucial for these guys maybe to find a 10th or two, because like you said, a couple of 10ths will shoot you up the order, and I guess that's drafting will play a bit of play in this racetrack too, because you can get a nice old draft if you're tucked up behind these Falcons coming into that bus stop chicane.
And we have seen already a couple of times this season that the qualifying or the starting order has changed massively in these final qualifying sessions. And that's where we're headed right now, 20 minutes around Watkins Glen. Very short lap, so there's going to be a lot of action out there. And this grid is probably going to change a number of times before we get to the end of this session.
Going to be interesting to get these drivers' thoughts after 53 laps around this place. It's a decent old race, and doesn't seem like there's a lot around here to put your mind to it as far as the complexity of this racetrack. But you do need to keep your wits about you. It's very fast chicanes up towards the back part of the racetrack, and then of course trying to get through that bus stop chicane as fast as you can without clipping the curbs and getting an off-track penalty. So really looking forward to it, and really keen to get drivers' thoughts on it after this length of race.
I reckon they are going to be spent because there's no time for you to catch your breath at all. It looks like a simple layout, but it's ultra fast. You can't blink, and it's going to be an exciting race.
So the cars are out on track now at the moment, and one driver I'm glad to see back in the fray.
On screen at the moment, Jared Philsell and Justin Roby are about to begin their laps. Justin, of course, joining us from some time off, was back at the Road America race and really made his mark, getting straight back into it. He's told us that he wants to be right up front, he wants to be winning races again, and he's a very strong threat for that.
You never want to rule Justin out, do you? He's such a driver, and I really probably thought coming into this season that he was probably one of the guys to take the championship out, but unfortunately just a bit of misfortune for him coming into the series and miss this season, but always a strong contender each and every round.
You've got the young charger, Jared Philsell, trying to probably learn a bit from his more experienced teammate. Jared's going to be one of the up-and-comers here in the Supercars series. We're expecting to see him making the top split very soon, and that'll be exciting because we've been hearing a lot about this kid.
I believe in his I rating's pretty impressive at the moment, and probably wouldn't have enough to make the top split. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see how that turns out. But yeah, I think the guys at without Supercar Fan Group and ANZ will be fairly chuffed about having him on board.
Well, that'll be a good one to follow because he's currently 9th on the timesheets.
Okay, Wayne Burke on screen now, and the Osram Falcon coming into turn 1. It's been a good season for those guys. It's just trying to have a look quickly down the order to see where Wayne's got himself at the moment. 20th place, 1:11.210, fastest time for the week so far.
As we said, even though he's down in 20th, it's not a lot of time that has to be found before you're making big jumps up the order. But these Osram cars we've been seeing a lot of through this season. They've been one of the big movers, big improvers, and always exciting to see new teams moving up through the field, and these are definitely guys to look out for.
Nice exit there, using up all the road. Car looks pretty good.
The thing I love about this racetrack is because of just how fast it is, the cars are always got to be balanced right on the limit, and there's no margin for error, so a good lap swings a little bit wide up onto the curve there.
So trying to beat a 11.210, punches out a 1.24.
So there you go, that's moved him up in the time charts a bit already, and we saw he's still got some time to make with that little bit slip up in the last corner.
Yeah, that was only a fraction of the game, but that's 2 spots, so you take that any day.
We told you this grid was going to change.
Man on screen, TTR Hype Simulator Falcon coming off the last turn, Sean Kelly.
Using all of that exit curve.
Punches out a 10.802. Not quite as good as his fastest time for the week. Fastest time for the week, 10.703. Man on on screen. Sam Collins trying to get just refreshing his skin there at the moment, so bear with us there. But wow, look how quick this session. They're already nearly 7 minutes gone in this 20-minute session already.
As we said, blink and you miss it, but it's a crucial session. The last opportunity to get yourself set on the grid as Sam actually shortcuts the bus stop there.
Yeah, you can get away with doing that on your outlap. You don't have to worry about that too much, but these guys just don't want to put too much temperature into it when they're getting ready for an outlap.
Now, we made a brief mention earlier about the V8's America series, and this is a driver who's been a bit of a star in that series, Marlon McMullen. Big time sideways through the bus stop.
Yeah, I haven't seen a refreshed championship as of Watkins Glen, but I know coming into Watkins Glen he was leading the championship, so nice job there from Marlon, taking it to the American boys.
I know that track time is so crucial in this car, and any little bit of extra running that you can get, especially around other cars, is going to be critical for getting this thing right, because it's such a difficult beast to master with the V8 Supercar, and there's none better than who we've got in this field today.
Just trying to find Marlon. I don't think I've got him in the top 25 at this stage here, so he punched out 11.9 for that lap. So his fastest time for the week is 11.8, we're hearing.
So, as we said, still a lot of room for Marlon to improve there, but this is the time to do it. We've also got 23 other drivers that are very eager to do the same.
Madison Down's just starting to come out of the pits. I don't think he's mucked out a lap time for this session so far, so maybe just biding his time. He's sitting P1 at the moment, but like we talked about, it's not as comfortable as he has been in some other weeks, because there's literally nothing in at the top. A 10.541 over Michael Fabian's 10.571, so nothing in it.
Check out all this traffic that's just trying to find some clear running space. We saw that with Madison beginning his lap, and there's been cars that have just been pulled over to the side trying to find their own little piece of real estate to work with. It's so critical to make sure you get a clean lap around here, because just the smallest little lift to have to try and clear another car, it's going to cost you a 10 and you're going to blow your lap.
Might be a good chance to jump on board the Tats.com Falcons. Madison Down comes into the last turn, and we'll take a flying lap around here at Watkins Glen. Makes it look so easy, doesn't it? He comes out of the final turn. His fastest time for the week, 10.541, crosses the line, 11.2, but geez, he makes it look easy.
I love just how fast this place is. Here how long they're sitting at max revs down that back straight, and how much speed they carry through the bus stop. It's a chicane that's supposed to slow you down, but they're still absolutely flying through that place.
These boys take it as a bit of a challenge.
That's right. Now here's something that we know is going to play a factor here, and that's that drafting. There's a number of multi-21 cars that are lining up, trying to see if they can help each other out.
Yeah, looks like Bo just moved out of the way for Ian there, so hopefully Ian was able to capitalise on a bit of a draft there. And Ian forward punches out a 10.903. Wayne Burke didn't punch out of time, but yeah, nice job there for Ian Ford.
The number of cars coming out of the pits at the moment, there's still just over 8 minutes left in the session, and that's still quite a number of laps that you can punch out. Very quick lap time around here, and you want to make the most of the small opportunity that you do have.
So you look at these ANZ boys just teaming up, going to try a bit of the old drafting game here in qualifying. Got Ruggier and Fussell just looks like they're just trying to get the lap ready so they can draft around. But I'm surprised we haven't seen a lot more of it in this session, because we just talked about how crucial the times are and how there's not that much in it, and a draft can be a huge advantage around here.
It's just that difficult thing of setting up your entire lap, because if you gain a tenth down the back straight with the toe, it's all for naught if you do flip up one of the other corners though. But I do love seeing team cars like this running nose to tail.
Oh, Justin may have just cost himself that lap, but he'll still be a good drafting partner here for Jared as they work up towards, through the S's and up towards the back straight. The times at the moment, Jared finds himself in 9th place and Ruggier in 6th. So regardless if Justin's thrown this lap away, you can see he just moves out of the way and just gives a bit of a slingshot there for Jared.
I was almost expecting that. He'd blown his lap but kept in it. Gave his teammate a tow down the back straight, then pulled out of the way so he could get a clean run through the bus stop. That's great sportsmanship.
So the time Jared has to beat is a 10.814.
Look at all these cars
look
in
at
front
this.
of him. Snipping as much of a draft as he can. It's good to see the other boys making sure they're staying well out of the way. Let's see what Jared can do.
Man, you're back in Mullen there. Oh, big moment there. Jared's
he's
round.
around.
He goes. And into the fence.
Off
Never mind.
in a big way.
Wow. We've got McKnight coming to the line here. Just missed his PB there with 10.926.
15th on the charts for McKnight, so that's a very strong showing.
We've got on screen Mullen who's chasing, is that Dylan Shepherd up through the S's?
Two of the Osram cars. That's that train that we saw pulled aside before when Vilsell was going through. Let's see what these boys have got for us.
Ideally, I think Dylan would like to be a little bit closer to Wayne there, but the one that may benefit out of this is Marlon. He's probably just that fraction a little bit closer back to the Osram Falcon there, or as he gets a little bit sideways, Dylan just in front of Marlon. But Marlon's right there to capitalise on some of that draft. It'll be interesting to see what this does for his lap time.
Well, Shepherd looks like his turn-in was a little bit late. Seeing the two cars positioned at different parts on the racetrack. I guess that's another cool thing about Watkins Glen is there's a number of different lines that can be taken around this place. Always good when there's multiple opportunities to make speed.
So 11.8 for Marlon, 11.835. Burke 11.6. Shepherd was a 12.1.
Yeah, man, we've got less than 5 minutes left in this session.
Yeah, no mucking about for these guys, and no doubt they'd know that too. They need to capitalise on the time that's left, and a couple of tenths can be huge, but the man on screen in the TTO Hyper Simulator Falcon, Sean Kelly, now trying to get the job done as he approaches the S's.
This is a beautiful piece of road, this run up the hill at Watkins Glen. An iconic stretch of racetrack, and it does get a bit claustrophobic with those walls either side.
It's one of those catch-22s, isn't it? You want to keep your foot flat through the S's, but sometimes if you lift off, you're just in as much trouble because the car just really wants to fire out towards the Armco. But great bit of racetrack when you get it right.
The run from the bus stop to the carousel here flows beautifully, doesn't it? It's a quality that these old classic racetracks have that's so strong. It's just the way that the track seems to just... It just fits, it just works. Every corner's supposed to be there. It's beautiful.
Sean Kelly's time for the week, 10.703. Puts him in P7 so far. Oh, looks like you're going to abort this lap, unfortunately. So He'll quickly reboot. What have we got? 3.5 minutes to go now. So it's a smart move. If you're not quite going to punch out the lap time, quickly reset and start all over again.
There'll be a couple of laps left. Seen a few movers so far in this session, but at the moment Madison Down still has pole position, followed by Michael Fabian, John Emerson, Matthew Hill and Val Ritchie's the top 5. 3 minutes left now.
Yeah, well, so Ian Ford's going to shoot straight through the bus stop chicane. Just try and find a driver on track now that's on a hot lap. Back to Wayne Burke in the Osram Falcon. And Justin Ruggier is on a hot lap as well. So Wayne Burke's coming out of the last turn. Bit of a wiggle there on exit. He'll come towards the start-finish line. Across the line, 11.5. Justin Ruggie has had to abort his lap too, unfortunately. So under the 2 minute mark now here for final qualifying here at Watkins Glen for round 10 of the iRacing V8 Supercar Series. These guys, they know they're up against the clock now just to try and grab those vital tenths of seconds that are so crucial in this round, because we've talked about just how close qualifying is. It actually makes for great racing, but much fun in the old cockpit there trying to find those tenths.
The speed is the big factor here. When you're carrying 270 odd kilometres an hour into a braking zone, you've got to be millimetre perfect. That's why these guys are the best. They're still finding time out there because Sanjay Delilax just made a personal best. That was a 1:11.1. Still, that was only just a tenth he'd moved up from that time. That's still a couple of spots on the grid.
Yep, take that any day of the week.
The final 60 seconds of qualifying. This is your last chance to complete a lap or to start a lap. And we've got Jared Filsell about to begin one.
Another ANZ teammates working together, which is good. So let's see if they can get it to work, like I said, in the last 60 seconds of qualifying.
These two boys have been working pretty hard together this session, and with Jared likely to make top split for the night, it's going to be a great story to follow to see how he starts interacting with that team, and whether he can start to push guys like Justin just a bit further, because you always want to beat your teammate. Very close to that wall.
Wasn't it? Another shade of coat of paint on the old Falcon. They could have been in a bit of strife, but looks like Ruggie is going to go on with it. Oh, it looks like he's just blown an engine just through the bus stop chicane on downshift. So that's qualifying over him. We'll go back and check out Mitch McLeod, who was following Ruggie when all that happened. So didn't throw him off too much, which is good.
Yeah, he's had an exciting couple of seconds unfold in front of him. But only 2 corners left to go for his lap. Currently P8 on the timesheet with a 1:10.8.
So the Mitch McLeod Designs Falcon coming out of the last turn here at Watkins Glen. Oh, he's had a big moment on exit there. That'll throw the lap away. Noses the Falcon into the wall. And you don't have to be a rocket scientist to let you know that that's game over. So maybe Timmy Hancock is the last car on track to punch out a lap time. He's going to cross the start-finish line. And with 11.686. Fastest for this session was 11.4 for him. And Paul Keegan crossing the line, 12.329 that lap. So there you go. That's final qualifying done and dusted for round 10 for Watkins Glen. For this session, Justin Ruggie, your fastest with a 10.80. Sean Kelly in second, Mitch McLeod third, Ian Ford in fourth, Bo Cattell in fifth, James McKnight in sixth place, Wayne Burke in seventh, Sanjay Delilax in eighth, in ninth, Madison Down, and in 10th, Samuel Collins.
Then we've also got Dylan Shepard, Timothy Hancock, Dale Nish, Kent Stedberg, Michael Schreier rounding out the top 15, with Marlon McMullen, Jake Burton, Paul Keegan, Michael Yeo, and Joshua Bird in the top 20.
And of course, back to 21st, Nathan Britton, John Litzel in 22nd, and Corey Preston and Jared didn't quite punch out a time there in final qualifying. So obviously that's all subject to change. That hasn't affected too much of final qualifying for our pole sitter though. Looks like Madison Down will grab that, but of course there's still another couple of other qualifying sessions to wrap up. But we'll go through all final qualifying when we come back and join you for round 10, the RS and V8 Supercar Series. So we'll just take a short break and we'll catch up with you all very shortly as we continue V8 Online's live and exclusive coverage of the RS and V8 Supercar Series here on V8's Online.
Tomorrow may not come.
Let's have a little bit of contact there from Scott. He muscles his way past.
Contact.
Justin, into the back of...
Muggleton just has to cross over this crest. He will cross the line and will win the championship.
Welcome everyone to V8 Online's live and exclusive coverage of the iRacing.com's V8 Supercars official online series. Proudly brought to you by good friends of V8 Supercar Fan Group, Direct Clutch Services, and our own V8's online superstore. Stephen Sandman Clark and the host chair for V8 Online's live and exclusive coverage of round 10. Wow, that season's dripping away so fast. Can't believe it. Broadcasting in glorious high definition from Watkins, Glen. And joining me in the commentary box, my co-driver as always, Leo Gray. Leo, how are you, mate?
Very well, thank you, Sam, man. Very well whenever we are back racing, because after a bit of a break, you can't wait to get back into it, especially here at Watkins Glen.
And what a race we got tonight. Unbelievable. 53 laps around Watkins Glen. Should be a ripper, and someone who may have a bit of work on his hands tonight. Our very own pit reporter, Reese Gardner. Thanks to Astro Gaming Headsets. How you going, Reese?
Not too bad, guys. Yeah, I've definitely been looking forward to this race for the past couple of weeks over the Christmas New Year's break that we were not broadcasting. But yeah, it's last time we were at Watkins Glen, it was an absolutely fantastic race, and I'm expecting more of it tonight. We got 53 laps around this track, and we've only got a very, very, very narrow pit window. It'll be about lap 27 in the race, and you might see some guys pitting a lap before on lap 26, but depending on when you pit, you will have to save fuel in either your first or your second stint, and it'll use up about 2 full tanks of fuel. So sort of an easy-ish job for me, but it's going to be a challenge for the drivers to see where they come out in that sort of strategy, I suppose.
It's going to be a great race. Also joining us in the commentary box, our newest addition to the V8 Online family here, Thomas Kraft from Kansas in USA. Thomas, how you going, mate?
Doing good. Excited for this race. Last season, you guys raced here, and it was, as you guys would call it, a ripper.
And a good effort by yourself, mate. It was a great race for the V8 Americas race the other day, and really enjoyed watching that.
Yeah, it was a pretty good race. Chad Chastain kind of blew the doors off everybody, but it's still a good race. A lot of fun to call that one.
Well, no doubt our Aussie guys will put on a great show. We love Watkins, man. It's a very unique racetrack, very fast, and 53 laps. I think these guys have got their work cut out for them. So hopefully we put on a good show for you, mate.
Oh, I know it's going to be a good show. Last season, I watched it like 3 times in a row just because it was so great, but I'm excited.
Here in 4645 soft for tonight's race. Really looking forward to a Watkins Glen. Great racetrack, 2.43 miles, 8 turns, and mate, 53 laps. These guys have really got their work cut out for them.
It's going to be a fantastic race for sure. 22 cars in tonight's race, and it's very, very tight up the top.
We'll quickly run through the starting order. Madison Down, your pole sitter for tonight's race. Michael Fabian in second. John Emerson in third. Matty Hill in fourth. Var Richards in fifth. Good to see Justin Ruggier back in the fold again in sixth place. Sean Kelly in seventh. Renz Brookman in eighth. Mitch McLeod ninth. And Jared Vassell in 10th place.
Chad Chastain, who dominated the V8 America race we were talking about, coming out of position 11, Brad Ryan alongside. Then Ian Ford, Bo Cattell, Lee Ellis, Wayne Burke, Dean O'Brien, Tobias Cerny, Michael Schreier, and Andrew Casey.
Then rounding out the last 2 spots on the grid, Marlon McMullen, and good to see George Maris back in too. So it's going to be a great race. I'm really interested to see how Chad Chastain goes tonight. He's been a great steerer in the V8 Supercars, and of course his dominance here the other night in the V8 Americas broadcast was sensational. I think he won by 32 seconds, so should be good to see how he comes up through the fold.
And I always like when we've got international drivers in here, because it's great to have people interested from around the world, and I hope there's plenty of people watching and enjoying wherever you are.
Quickly touch base on the championship before we get started. Madison Down, your current leader over John Emerson. Dean O'Brien in third. Renz Brookman in fourth. Michael Fabian in fifth. Bo Cattell in sixth. Tobias Cerny in seventh. Josh Muggleton in eighth. Var Richie's ninth. And Ian Ford rounding out your top 10.
So 3 rounds to go, including this one. until we're going to crown another champion. So this is where we're down to the business end of the season. Things are going to get really hot from here on. We've got 53 laps from Watkins Glen to cover first.
Really interested to see how this strategy is playing out too. We're hearing a couple of guys are actually going to think about fuel saving a little bit, maybe in this first stint, just to make that that last, well, their one and only stop for fuel just that little bit shorter, and hopefully make some gain in the pits. So it's going to be interesting to see how that all unfolds.
There'll be drivers scrambling every which way to try and get even the most minute advantage that they can, because the times are so close. The racing is going to be intense, and there's going to be nothing in it the entire way through the field.
So we're just waiting for the guys to grid up. Great race. 22 cars for this top split broadcast here for V8's Online. I really do enjoy Watkins Glen, but these guys are going to have to give plenty of racing room as they make the first couple of turns and up through those fast S's.
That's always a good sight, isn't it? Seeing this pack of cars beginning this race. Lights are up, let's do it.
So the revs rise for round 10 here at Watkins Glen. The iRacing V8 Supercar Series is underway. Great start from Madison Down, but Fabian just as good on the outside, but he's going to have his work cut out for him to make the move. Madison's Down got the right line into turn 1.
One of the ANZ cars back there, I think it's Justin Ruggier, had a really good start. Nearly went 3 wide into turn 1.
Now the key is, can they get up through the S's? The last thing they want is some action through here, because it gets very narrow when you're trying to race side by side. But if you've got some contact and someone spinning through there, it can get quite ugly. But everyone's done a great job here on the opening lap.
Got Ruggier putting big pressure on Val Ritchie's there. Having a look into the bus stop, can't complete a pass. Side by side, a bit deeper in the field. Loud had a bit of a moment, but look at them snake their way through the carousel now.
Good to see a nice bit of give and take there for the guys. Ruggier a little bit sideways here on exit, just a little bit of a wiggle as he tries to put the pressure on the back there, but you see Sean Kelly's trying to look too, but Val Ritchie's there. Right, gets the move done on Val Ritchie, so nice job there from Ruggier.
Yeah, he'll be happy with that. Wants to move up as soon as possible and start attacking this lead group, but it seems like the field has split in two a little bit, because we've got from Madison down to first, all the way down to Brad Ryan in ninth. That's nose to tail. Then Jared Philsell leading this massive pack as they head 3 wide down into turn 1.
Just getting a little bit racy back there. You see Lee Ellis makes a move there. Look at that, was that Chad Chastain there. Dean O'Brien to line, look up the inside too as they get through the S's. Smart move driving there by those guys. Just want to get single file. Don't want to get too crazy up through those S's. Maybe a little bit of contact there. Who's that? Is that Bo Cattell? He's made contact with the wall. Looks like he's been able to gather it up. Hopefully not too much damage for him.
Going to take a little while to shake it out and see how he's feeling, but these are tough cars, these big V8s. He'll slot back in the line, but Chad Chastain's going to be very hungry behind him. Plenty of action behind this though. You see George Maris moving through the field. Ian Ford putting big pressure on Marlon McMullen as well.
Check out this little battle back here. We've got Ruggier all over the back of Hilly trying to think about a move there, but thinks better of it. How good is it to see Justin Ruggier back in the fold and looking quite racy too, the old boy, as he comes down the front straight, all over the back there trying to think of a way of pass around Matty Hill.
It's great to see that he's got straight back into it, and there he is, under brakes, making the move on Matthew Hill. Textbook manoeuvre, just holds him up a little bit wide, leaves him plenty of racing room, and takes the position.
That's what we've been missing. It's good to see Justin Ruggier back in the fold. He's looking pacey too. He's moved himself up into P4, so the next person on his charts now is John Emerson, but there's a little bit of a gap between Emerson and Ruggier, so he's got his work cut up for him. He'll just knuckle down and just worry about that gap that he's got to close down.
He doesn't mess about. You can already see him stretching his legs down in towards the bus stop, but it's those first 3 that he's got to catch. And look at Michael Fabian putting big pressure on Madison Down.
Yep, your race leader, Madison Down over Michael Fabian, John Emerson. These guys got themselves a nice little 3-car train here. Makes me wonder if these guys have already started to think about saving fuel, but maybe not. They may be saving that for later, but there's no holes barred back here.
Kelly looks like he's had a bit of contact. There's a big dent in the right-hand side of that car, right behind the front wheel. And you've got Renz Brookman trying to put a bit of pressure on him. Still just a train of cars nose to tail.
Oh, look at that thing of Kelly's thing moving around just a little bit. Yeah, you're right about that damage. Hopefully that doesn't affect him too much. Very early stages of this race, such a long one, 53 laps, and the last thing you want is to have damage in these opening laps.
Jared Filsell, who looked like he was maybe struggling a bit in the opening lap, has found his feet, was moving in on Brad Ryan, trying to set his sights on 9th position. So I believe this is actually Jared's broadcast debut, so making an exciting mark already on this field. 10th position, very strong place to be running.
Yeah, he's got his work cut for him. It's good to see him in there. We knew it wouldn't take too long. He's a great driver, but Brad Bryan in front and Mitch McLeod, former series champion, behind him too. So he's definitely mixing it up with the big boys and still holding on to his top 10 spot, which is fantastic.
Now, John Emerson, who's currently sitting in 3rd, has got a great view of these 2 leaders. Might jump on board for a little bit and see just how it's like out there. It'll be a good opportunity to try and see just what the strategy is for Emerson. Have a listen to his throttle and just see if he's lifting a little bit early into the corners, because that's a sign of fuel saving. We saw he did a great job of that at Mount Panorama.
Yep, sounds like he might have just lifted a little bit there coming into the bus stop chicane. So nice bit of strategy there from Emerson. Not worried about the lead too much at the moment. Long way to go in this race. Understatement of the year, but smart driving from Emerson at the moment.
Well, we saw that exact strategy is what paid off for him at Mount Panorama, and that's why he is a race winner at Bathurst now.
This little battle here, Sean Kelly really looking at the back here of Ritchie's. I don't know if that damage is holding him up too much, but who knows? These guys may be playing the strategic game, but we'll have to wait and see how this all unfolds. But Kelly does look like he's pretty keen to get past, but that thing's moving around a lot, using up that left rear, but manages to hold on to it, but maybe giving up a spot right here.
Yeah, Renz seizes the opportunity to capitalise, squeezes his way past the S's, which is a pretty high risk move, but he got it done. Kelly's car not looking stable under braking into turn 1. That's the second time we've seen the rear wiggling into that corner.
Check out some of that action on the race recall replay. Nice advantage there from Brookman. He saw that the back of Kelly's thing was just moving around a little bit, and he was able to capitalise and got position and actually did a nice little manoeuvre there to hold on to the spot. So great driving there from Renz Brookman. Back here to live pictures now, and Mick McLeod and Jared is right there. You can see Mitch is looking quite racy here. Does he think about the under-over, looks up the inside, think about it? No, he just thinks better of it coming into the final turn here at Watkins Glen. But he's holding up to the pressure pretty well, old Jared.
Yeah, if you're going to make some experience, this is the way to do it, racing with the very best. He's definitely holding his own. His lap times are strong. He's driving smart. He's kept out of trouble, and this is the perfect way to begin a race.
We'll quickly run through the order. It's Madison down as he comes into the bus stop chicane over Michael Fabian, John Emerson in 3rd. Justin Ruggie, a nice move for him, working his way up through the field in 4th. Matty Hill in 5th, Var Ritchie's in 6th, Renz Brookman in 7th, Sean Kelly 8th, Brad Ryan 9th, and Jared Fissel in rounding out the top 10. Just checking out the laps between Emerson and Ruggier. Last time round, Emerson's time was 11.259 compared to Ruggier's 11.384. So Emerson's just got that little bit of a margin. There's not much in it between their lap times, but you never know how this is all going to unfold as the laps go on.
We've been saying it all through the build-up of this, that it's just a tenth that you've got to be chasing. Do it through qualifying, we're seeing it again through the race.
course, the one thing that does work in Emerson's favour, he's got just that little bit of a draft, that toe just from Michael Fabian in front of him. So makes it a little bit easier for Emerson's times here. He can just roll out and take advantage of that draft that he's got down the back straight. Justin Ruggier there all by himself, punching a hole through that air. Hasn't got anyone around him, and he is just starting to make a bit of a gain, a bit of a margin over Matty Hill.
Now, the driver who took us through Watkins Glen earlier in the night, Bo Cattell in the Multi-21 car, is looking at a massive battle. There's all number of drivers in front of him. You've got O'Brien, Ellis, McLeod, and Phil Sell. That's one that we've been following. So Cattell's going to be very eager to try and cut through this mess and gain a couple of positions.
I think the good thing for Cattell is that he didn't get... Oh, it looks like the dramas there. Is that one of the Supercar fan group cars? Justin Ruggier's had a moment. He's given up a whole heap of positions. We'll check out all the action there on the race report replay just to find out what exactly happened to Justin Ruggier. Slipping back from
big
P4.
Trouble. Slid wide and he caught the curb and he's tagged the wall.
He's dropped the right rear onto the grass, just touched the barrier. May have got away with not too much damage, but unbelievable. He's gone from, was that P4, now back to P14.
10 positions gone in a heartbeat, and that puts him right behind Bo Cattell, who we were just talking about. Justin's got to keep his head about him. Just regain some composure, knuckle down, and start trying to pick them off one by one.
Ford may have had a bit of a moment back there coming into the bus stop chicane. Looks like he may have jumped the curb, unfortunately. So his shot's right through the grass section of that back chicane. We'll get a chance. We'll cross to Reece Gardner, thanks to Astro Gaming Headsets in the pits.
Yeah, guys, I've got our first little bits of news of the night. I heard at the start of the race that Madison Down had a couple of issues as his pedals were not calibrating properly. He wasn't getting 100% throttle at all times when he put his foot down, and of course that is very crucial at a track like Watkins Glen that has lots of high-speed acceleration zones. But it seems that he's doing a pretty good job of holding off Michael Fabian so far, so I'm not too sure how much that's affecting him. I've heard from Dylan Sharman over at TTL that John Emerson, running third in the Good Game TTL machine, is going to go hard and try to win. And I've also gotten a message just now from Overclockers Australia, Matt Burgess. Fabs would like to once again emphatically deny that his upcoming hip-hop single was leaked earlier this week. It was going to be, but his blessed dog ate it.
Oh, bad. Don't you hate it when the dog gets involved and either eat your homework or it's his latest release? That's a shame, but never mind. We'll get back to the race, and thanks, Reece. Great job there, mate.
No problems, guys.
How's the margin for the top three? Down, Fabian and Emerson. They've got themselves that 4-second margin back to Matty Hill there.
They've been making hay whilst the sun is shining, but speaking of Michael Fabian, looks like he's put his foot down in the past lap or two and is now putting big pressure on the back of Madison Downs. Hit one a little bit wide there, but he closed the gap right up to within 0.2 of a second on the previous lap.
He's doing a great job. Maybe a little bit wide there through the S's, or nice and close to the Armco there, but doing a great job, Michael Fabian, in the Overclockers Australia Falcon, but definitely now getting a little bit of pressure there from John Emerson. He could just slowly creeping up to the back of the Falcon.
That Good Game car is definitely lurking. You get that feeling about it, don't you? We know how good Emerson is, and sitting there in third position, not really troubled by anything. He's going to be there at the end, we can be sure of it.
It's one person I've actually really enjoyed watching this season is Emerson. His pace, and of course we touched on his win at Bathurst, has been sensational, but it's a breath of fresh air to have the pace that Emerson's got on board and really harassing the guys up front for consistent race wins each week.
Oh, check out this one.
It's sensational, isn't it?
Ellis is getting a big hurry up from Dean O'Brien, who at the same time has got Bo Cattell for pressure.
Bo's looking up the inside. Can he get the job done? Pulls it up nice and easy up the inside of the Osram Falcon. He will. He'll get the job done. But on exit, just a little bit tidy. He'll keep it. He'll hold position. Nice job there over Dean O'Brien.
Relieves the pressure on Ellis for a little bit there as well. He's able to scoot away from this angry pack.
Has a battle here. Justin Ruggier and George Maris. Looks like Maris is thinking about a move up the inside in the bus stop chicane. He has a look. He's going to put the nose there. Not quite. Justin Ruggier will hold position, but now Justin's really keen to get that move done on Dino O'Brien. We touched on Ruggier's dramas and misfortunes. He was running in P4, but finds himself, was he now P13 at the moment? So
Currently he's 14.
no, 14. Sorry.
Look at Maris. Nearly makes contact and he runs a bit wide there. He clearly missed his braking zone. He's
Through
going to
the
run
grab
off the
trap.
road, drop a couple of positions.
Lucky to hold on to it too. He had a little bit of a moment as he rejoined the racetrack, but yeah, it's a shame for Maris. He had good pace there, a good little battle between him and Ruggier, but he's just going to lose a little bit of ground on those guys.
Look at Ruggier. Side by side contact with Dino O'Brien in the Osram car. Just elbows out, pushes it. White Chad Chastain going to try and buy in, but Dino O'Brien going to try and get right back on the back of that ANZ Falcon.
Geez, no doubt Ruggier will be kicking himself from that incident earlier, but really not mucking about now as he tries to carve up his way through the field, and that pass with Dino O'Brien through turn 1.
It was an aggressive pass. You can see it in the way he's driving at the moment. Clearly going to be disappointed because he was in a very, very strong position. But as we said, still a long way to go. Currently working lap 13 of 53. A bit closer to the front though, we've got another 4-car breakaway here. Matthew Hill, Val Ritchie's, Trent Brooklyn and Sean Kelly. 4th down through 7th these guys are currently running.
One thing that Kelly will enjoy, he's just got a little bit of a breather margin over Brad Ryan, to slip back a little bit there, so takes the pressure off Kelly, and Kelly can just concentrate, look forward to seeing that battle with him and Rensbrook and how that unfolds over the next couple of laps. Hopefully he can just keep to the tail end of this train and hopefully make something of it as the laps go on.
On circuits like this, with the nature of the racing, I do think that you feel a little bit more comfortable when you are at the back of a pack, knowing that you can move forward, that you can make positions when you need to. It's when you're at the front, you've got 10 guys hungry on your bumper, that you start to sweat a bit.
So lap 14 of 53, a heck of a long way to go. It's Madison Down leading over Michael Fabian and John Emerson. It looks like John still trying to think of ways of just tacking onto the back there of Fabian, but on the other hand, he's probably happy just to sit pretty for a little while and let that strategy unfold.
Look at the lap times. 11.4 Madison Down, 11.4 Michael Fabian, 11.5 John Emerson. Nothing between these guys at all.
So we're hearing about lap 26, I think 26, 27 is the margin that these guys will be in. The race will conduct it over 2 full tanks of fuel, so they'll need to save just a fraction to come out of that last turn so they don't run out of fuel on the last lap. But these guys have already thought about that, and they know that even if they save a bit of fuel in this first stint, they can make that that pit stop just that little bit shorter and hopefully get some sort of advantage over the rest of the field. How's this vision on board with Jared Fussell, looking back to Mitch McLeod?
An angry looking car, that Mitch McLeod Designs vehicle. Ranges right up on the back of Jared Fussell's ANZ car. Doing well to withhold the pressure as Jared is having a very strong drive, currently at 9.
How's Mitch's moment there out of the final turn?
He's just playing, loves it.
Just keeping Jared on his toes, make sure he's looking in his rearview mirror.
He's definitely putting the pressure on. We see him get right up close and tight at the apex of the corners, so Mitch seems to be carrying a bit more speed in, but Jared just keeping his head about him, concentrating on the drive out, and doing a fine job in 9.
The reports that Justin Ruggier has now got Bo Cattell. Looks like Bo's got his hands full there. Looks like Dean O'Brien thinking about a move into the bus stop chicane. Thinks better of it, so smart bit of driving there from Dean.
Ruggy going to do his best to leave that group and head on to the next one. He's got a couple of seconds before he catches Lee Ellis. That's position 11 that he's going to be hunting down. Still shows you how much that's been hurt because he's currently 12.5 seconds behind the leader, Madison Down.
Yeah, 10 spots. You just curse. When something like that, he was lucky not for it to be a bigger incident. He did manage to pull it up just before he did make slight contact with the guardrail there, but not too much damage. He's able to truck on, but just those 10
O'Brien
spots.
off. O'Brien wide on the final turn. Loses a spot to Maris and Chastain. Didn't look like he hit anything, so he'll continue on.
Yeah, we'll check out our race recall replay. Looks like he just had a bit of a wiggle there on the final turn. Got a little bit sideways and tried to gather it up and then made just slight contact with the outside wall and touched the grass. And as he managed to get it up, he did give up 2 spots, unfortunately, to Chad Chastain. And who was the other guy? George Maris got past him.
Got to watch that incident, Cap. We've seen a number of guys who have dropped a wheel off or had a bit of a moment in the grass and continue on. Haven't really seen any major car-to-car contact, which is a big no-no for your incident, Cap, which is a good thing. We don't want to see that. There was a little bit last time we heard what's happened to Kelly.
He's all over the back there of Renz Brookman. Bit of a slide there just to upset his rear tyres a little bit there.
Oh, and big time
again.
out of the final turn. You don't want to be doing that, Sean. Careful, buddy.
Yeah, that doesn't do any favours, your relationship over your rear tyres. You start to build those pressures and it just starts to get a little bit untidy. But as long as he just gathers it up and just he's easy with his throttle applications, he'll get those pressures back down again. But the last thing you want to do is abuse those rears.
Now, hot lapper Watkins just keeping updated. Seems to be having a couple of internet troubles. Going to be a bit of a distraction for George Maris. Hopefully that doesn't cause too much dramas for Bo, or for any other driver, of course. Currently running P13 is Bo.
So we're still a little away from pit stops, still about 8 laps or so away from pit stop time, but your race leader, Madison Down, just a tiny margin over Michael Fabian in second, John Emerson third. And those guys got a nice little gap to this 4-car angry train with Matthew Hill, Var Ritchies, Renz Brookman and Sean Kelly. That's your top 7. And then, of course, another train with Brad Ryan in 8th, Jared Fussell in 9th, Mitch McLeod in 10th and Lee Ellis in 11th.
I'd say that Madison Down has done his fuel saving because these last 2 laps he's turned the wick up a little bit. It's a pair of 11.3s back to back, and he's edging out a bit of a margin on Fabian and Emerson, who are still doing 11.4s.
He looks quite comfortable. The car looks pretty good. He's got that Tats.com Falcon hooked up and hasn't in the past been a huge favourite of Madison's, his place. He hasn't had much luck. He said he rather enjoys the place, but just never had much luck, especially up through the S's. But, geez, I hope I haven't put the Mozza on him because I'll hear from it at the end of the broadcast. But so far, so good. He's put together a great race and good qualifying, obviously starting on pole. But these opening 19 laps have been good for him so far.
These first 3 are probably the happiest drivers in the field at the moment. You've got everybody else though who wants to be exactly where these boys are running. It seems that everywhere else we look, there's drivers all over the back of each other. A couple of 4-car trains. Matthew Hill in 4th with Vale, Renz and Sean Kelly putting big pressure on him. This fight hasn't been resolved yet, and I think it's going to go on for a long time yet.
Interested to watch Brookman there. Brookman just moving around the back of Richie's mirror, just letting him know he's there, just ducking and diving, just moving around, just to try and break some concentration. But a nice little 4-car train for these guys. It can be good sometimes. You want to have at least someone there to draft with, but it can be frustrating at the same time when you've got such a good close battle.
I do think patience is going to be key though. Still a long way to go, and you're going to want to make sure you save just that little bit of fuel so you can go hard till the end and save your tyres too. Here's another 4-car battle. Seems everywhere. Look, there's lots everywhere, and there's Maris, Cattell, Chastain and O'Brien. These guys have been racing very hard every single time we look back on it.
How's Chad Chastain just moving around a little bit in the rear there? Just a little bit sideways off exit, but again, another 4-car train here with Chastain, Maris, Cattell, and Dean O'Brien.
Love the way these guys close up nice and tight in the corners there. Different lines that you can take through the final turn. O'Brien looking pretty close on Chastain at the moment.
Yeah, Chastain had a little bit of a wiggle coming out of that turn, and Dean O'Brien thought about it, but Chad had him covered there. Still had pretty good pace coming into turn 1, and didn't have to worry too much there. But he's definitely having a look there. The Osram Falcon is really all over the back there of the Can-Am Falcon there of Chastain.
Remember, he was ahead of these guys, but had that little slip up on the final turn. Lost a couple of positions because of it. And Maris thinking about a look. He's just showing.
He was
just showing
he?
himself.
Fantastic. It's good to see that he's just sort of poking the nose there, just letting Bo Cattell know that he was having a decent old look. But gee, scary stuff if you try and go too wide into the chicane.
You just got to make the guy in front of you think about it. He's just got to think, and then you're in. It's not an easy move to pull at all.
Well, just look at George Maris, who's got the job done there. Bo Cattell up into the inside of turn number 1. So great drive there from George Maris. Just threw it up the inside and manages to get the position.
We'll see how that affects Cattell's run up through the S's. He looked like he was able to get back online pretty quickly, but Chastain running behind that. Of course, when you see a move pulled on someone in front of you, you want to try and use that moment to capitalise and take advantage of it yourself. Looks like Cattell's managed to get himself back into position.
How's this battle? Mitch McLeod, Jared Vassell, these guys having a nice little battle, but someone who wants to capitalise on all this action is Lee Ellis, who's right in the fold there too.
Yeah, Ellis did a good job to get away from that battle we were watching before. It looked like he was in a bit of trouble. He just scored a little bit of grass on the left. These guys are flirting with the limits of the track, just trying to find every little bit of millimetre room they can find.
It's lap 23 of 53. We're probably about 3 or 4 laps away from these round of pit stops, and interesting to see how it all plays out as far as who is maybe been saving a bit of fuel, so they're short. Their pit stops are a little bit shorter.
Vale Ritchie's on Matty Hill at the bus stop.
Oh,
Side by side.
oh, it's dangerous stuff. The guy's doing a great job. They're 2 cars side by side. Look at all the action. You've got Vale Ritchie's there, Matthew Hill, Rance Brookman in the fold with Sean Kelly right there, and of course that brings in Brad Ryan as well.
Brookman's made a pass. He's going to try and shut the door on Matthew Hill, which he does. Now you've got Kelly trying to take advantage of the situation too. Brad Ryan is now there. This is a 5-car battle.
I thought that was going to be a big moment for Kelly. Unbelievable stuff through the bus stop chicane.
Val Ritchie's did an excellent job to make that move happen. Matthew Hill, a very good job as well to make sure it didn't end in tears, but Rance Brookman now looking pretty racy. Hill closes up under brakes though.
Everyone, oh, a little bit
Gives
of
him a
contact
touch.
there. Brookman just got a little bit of nose to tail action there from Matty Hill.
Tell you what, this will give Kelly a run now. Side by side with the S's. That's risky stuff. Brad Ryan now is going to try and get a run as well because Kelly's exit will be compromised.
Yeah, Brad Ryan can get a bit of a draft here or think about the move up the inside. Kelly's now looking up the inside, trying to get a look on Matthew Hill. Hill holds his line though, and now have a look at that. Brad Ryan thinks about the outside, can't quite get it done, and they go single file again through the bus stop chicane. But Ryan looks up the inside, thinks about that move on Sean Kelly.
Hilly says, you've done it to me once, that's enough. It's not going to happen on the next lap. But what this has also done is bring that 3-car train back up into this here. Jared Filsell, Mitch McLeod, Lee Ellis, they're right there.
Getting real racy now as we're getting close to pit stops. These guys know that they've got to pounce. They've got a nice little chance here when they're nose to tail, but once pit stops start to happen, they may lose that closeness in these margins. So A couple of guys really trying to make the mix. You can see Kelly and Brad Ryan. Brad really loose on exit there.
Richie's and Brookman, the big winner from the what's happened in the last couple of laps, but that 4-car battle, now 6 of them all over each other, and it's still going on.
It's
Of course,
unreal, isn't it?
guys that are further back, like Ryan, Phil Sell, McLeod, they're going to be very hungry. They see this as an opportunity in front of them. These guys are a couple of seconds up the road, start fighting, and next thing you're all over them. You've got to make the most of it whilst you can, and that's exactly what they've done.
It's great how close it is from Var Ritchie's in 4th all the way back to Ellis in 11th. It's sensational.
This is Ellis we're riding with at the moment, and this is going to be an exciting view. There's just cars everywhere in front of him, and they're going to be every which way, all over each other in the braking zones, corner exits, just trying to make something happen.
So one thing that's pretty good, just having a quick look through the leaderboards and everything else, we don't have any DNFs at the moment. Or first pit stops may be starting. Looks like Jared's in the lane. And who else is in there?
Matty Hill in as well.
So strategy starting to unfold. The start of lap 26. Oh, a big moment into turn 1. Sean Kelly's had a wiggle. Oh, Brad Ryan thinking about a move.
Brad Ryan.
Couldn't quite get the job done, but didn't take much for Brad to have a bit of a sniff there. Big moment there for Kelly, but
we see how polite these guys are in the qualifying sessions, but when it's race time, that just goes out the window. Look at Ritchie's and Wren's here. Brookman was running side by side with him down into the bus stop, putting big pressure on that TTL car. Brookman
Don't
looking
imagine.
very strong at this point in the race.
won't be long before the rest of the guys will be in pit lane. It won't be long because you imagine that most of these guys will be running on fumes. You can see our race leader Madison down. He's in. Fabian's in. Emerson in. Our top 3 have all darted into pit lane.
Let's see if Ritchie's and Brookman follow. I think that they are, yes. Ritchie's in. Brookman in.
Oh, McLeod staying out.
McLeod. Sorry, Kelly, Ryan, Ellis, Ruggier, Maris. O'Brien as well. That's a massive train of cars in pit road.
Oh, Michael Fabian may have missed his pit stop there, missed his pit box, overshot it a little bit. So that'll cost him a couple of seconds there once these pit stops are all play out. So it could be a perfect opportunity for John Emerson to make some gain here.
I think I saw that Sean Kelly had to back up as well. Can't be 100% sure of that, but those critical moments can cost you big time.
So these guys
Emerson
quickly...
first off the jacks.
Oh, wow,
He's
look
away.
at Emerson. He's gone.
He's going to jump him in the pits, and Fabian's going to be all over the back of Madison down as well. So Emerson, the big winner at this point. Fantastic job by the Good Game team. Put him out into the lead.
And Lee Ellis has jumped Ren Brookman too in the pits, and they're going to have some contact here. Matty Hill now. Looks like Jared's now. They're going to go side by side through the S's. Have a look at these guys.
Dangerous stuff, but Phil Sell manages to hang on and claim a position. These guys pitted a lap ago, so they're coming on with a full head of steam. But look at Brookman, side by side into the bus stop with Ellis.
Yeah, get the job done. Nice move there from Brookman. Positions his car. Ellis had to give up. He was on the wrong side of the racetrack. Big moment there for Jared. Looks like Hilly's going to look up the inside of Jared.
Nice move, Matty Hill. You've got to take those opportunities, and beautifully done. Phil Sell going to have a big run back onto the second last corner, though.
Yeah, it's not over yet. He's looking up the inside. Will he get the job done? No, thinks better of it.
Okay, McLeod, Cattell, Chastain and McMullen in the pits. Those are the last drivers to make their pit stops, so this will cleanse the field. And John Emerson will be our race leader.
Sensational strategy from the Good Game Falcon. John Emerson leads this race on lap 28. Great pit strategy there, and really jumped out a nice margin over the rest of the guys there. Madison down and Michael Fabian back in third.
2.1 seconds he's got in hand. You can see that his pit stop, it was a fair 4 seconds quicker than Madison Downs was.
We spoke about him sitting back there in third. Looked like he was quite content just to sit back and just watch the guys we could hear that one time that we went on board with him that he was saving fuel, and that has paid off big time.
What do you think we'll see this good game car hammering hard to the finish, put down all the way home, John?
Looks like we're just waiting for the field to cleanse itself out. We'll be able to quickly run through the field, but sensational strategy. Looks like Justin just had a bit of a moment there out of the carousel.
We've said he's made it look easy jumping back into this, but it's really not. You need laps under your belt, and he's a fantastic driver, but it's a tough gig to get back into.
Just waiting for the field to cleanse itself, but it's our leader, John Emerson, 2.1 second margin over Madison down. Sensational strategy there for him in these mid stages of the race. Lap 29 of 53. In third place, Michael Fabian, and they've got a nice little healthy gap over Vale Ritchie's in fourth, Renz Brooklyn fifth, Lee Ellis sixth, Matthew Hill in seventh, Jared Fissel in eighth, Brad Ryan ninth, and Sean Kelly running out your 10.
Looks like Hilly was the big loser in this, and Phil Sell big winner as well. Those positions have swapped around a fair bit. We've got the gains and losses on screen as well, so you can see who the big movers in the field are. Emerson leading the races up 2 positions from his starting spot. You can see Lee Ellis up 9 and George Maris 10 positions. He started rear of field without a qualifying time. But the drivers who have gone in the wrong direction, it's Justin Ruggier, who of course had that big moment we saw. He's now currently running back in 13th, not where he wants to be at all. Brad Ryan having a big look side by side with the S's. You can't do that, can you?
Oh,
he does!
He's
made it stick. How can you do that, Brad Ryan?
It's not over yet though. He's going to look up the inside. He's thinking about the move there.
Oh, look at him weaving, just trying to hold position. That was an awesome move by Brad Ryan. I didn't think you could do it.
Who said you can't pass through the S's?
Oh, Brad Ryan proving us wrong. What a move. But great situational awareness by Jared Fissel to let that pass happen safely, because that could have gone ugly pretty quick, but great driving by these two to make it happen.
We've seen it a couple of times tonight. Good clean racing through the S's. Oh, looks like a bit of a moment there for Brad Ryan. He may have run wide. Will he lose that spot to Jared? Jared's got to go the outside, go the long way. He's going to try a bit of an under and over, but he's got to be careful, because back there is Sean Kelly in the TTR Falcon.
Yeah, Sean Kelly going to try and take advantage of these guys fighting hard. But I think what we're seeing is Jared Fissel letting these boys know that he's just not going to roll over easy, even though he might not have raced with them as frequently as the others. Have a look at Kelly having a look. He's going to try the same move.
Oh, Jared's run a little bit wide. He's had to give up that margin. Kelly will get the job done. Nice bit of move right through the S's. We're seeing more and more passes as the race goes on.
That was a bold move by Kelly. It was beautifully executed. Exciting stuff. It doesn't get much better than that. What a move.
It's good to see a smart bit of driving on Jared's behalf too, because he knew if he turned in, it was just going to be carnage for him and Kelly. So it's been great. The respect that these guys have shown each other through the S's and through the bus stop chicane is just it's just shown tenfold for these guys. The respect that's out there is just making this racing second to none.
5th and 6th in the race at the moment. Renz Brookman currently has it, but Lee Ellis wants it. Ellis, who we've seen been one of the big movers in this race, started 15th and is trying to fight for 5th.
Gotta love this nose to tail racing, don't you? It can be pressure. All Renz just run a little bit wide there. That'll work in Ellis's favour. He's right up close now to the back of his Falcon, but yeah, when you're in these tight battles for lap after lap, especially this race distance, 53 laps, these guys nose to tail, they're really going to have their work cut out for them.
Renz was awake up to it and just moved his car over to the right a little bit to make sure Ellis didn't stick his nose in.
Oh, look at the gain. The gain under brakes as we ride on board with Lee Ellis. Sensational towards the back of Brookman's car, but you can see he's just pretty keen. It looks like Lee's pretty happy with the pace he's got at the moment with his TTR Falcon, but Brookman's not one just to move over and give the spot. You're really going to have to work for it. Oh, another close one. The braking that Lee Ellis has got on board that Falcon is just great.
Brookman driving a very strong defensive line at the moment, and he's holding on very well. He's not rattled easily, Renz Brookman, and getting past him is no easy task at all. Ellis trying his very best though, and doesn't it look great?
Love the onboard shots that we can bring you here at V8 Online, because it just really does give you an indication of how these guys, where they may be able to make an advantage in certain parts of the racetrack, the gains that they make under brakes, and of course some of the different driving lines that these guys have through some of these turns.
I've been watching this out of the corner of my eye for the last couple of laps, this battle at the top three. It's been tightening up a bit. You can see Madison down, just closing in ever so slightly each time. A 10th here, a 10th there. Whoa, big slide by Madison out of that second last corner though.
Yeah, one thing I noticed as we ride on board with Emerson looking back to Madison down is after that pit stop's all played out, the margin was 2.1 seconds. Now it's 1.2 seconds on lap 34. So Emerson still has got his work cut out for him, and Down is pretty keen to close up that margin, but geez, Down seems really moving around on this lap.
Check the times, 11.5 Emerson, 11.2 Down, 11.4 Fabian. So we can see that Michael Fabian is pulling up to the back of Emerson, but Justin Ruggier is in the pits, is he?
Yeah, we're hearing reports that Ruggier's in pit lane, so don't know if he's had a drama or he's made contact, or God forbid he hasn't put enough fuel in that thing. We'll just have to wait and see.
Could be a technical issue. Have been hearing that he might not be 100% comfortable with a set of pedals. Very unfortunate to see though, because always want to see Justin do well. He'll be back stronger next week, I'm sure.
So it's John, Emerson, Madison, Down and Michael Fabian are going to be close to 1 second this time round, because looks like Down just visually is just starting to close. Across to Reese in the pits there. If Reese is there, mate, thanks to Astro Gaming headsets.
Yeah, guys, I've got a small little snippet of information on Emerson versus Down up at the front. I've noticed, as I'm sure you guys have, and the viewers, that Madison Down is creeping in just a little bit on John Emerson. It seems that his pedal issues have not affected him that much. It's his throttle pedal, I've heard, is only at about 95% on the straights, so he's just trying to maintain his exit speeds, and it looks like it's working. But I'm also hearing word that John might be preparing for Madison Down's charge. I've heard word from other garages that he might be saving fuel, so we'll see what happens at the end of this race.
Oh, interesting to see how this all plays out. Thanks, Reese. Wow, who knows?
Knowing the way that Emerson races and seeing how he won that Bathurst race, I wouldn't be surprised at all to see him just patiently biding his time, making sure he's got the fuel and the tyres to hold off a big charge from Madison Down. We know that Down's quick, he's going to be difficult to beat, and Emerson is going to be very smart about how he tackles this challenge. Check out the battle from fourth on back though, with Val Ritchie's, Renz Brookman, Lee Ellis and Matthew Hill. That's fourth through seventh. These guys have been at it all race long. Matthew Hill was the big loser of this group out of pit stops, unfortunately. We saw things heat up big time in the lead up to those stops. Ritchie's putting that awesome move into the bus stop.
That's this battle here between Maris and Kelly. Maris closed up a little bit of margin. Looked like he was almost was going to make contact there with the back of Kelly there, but they both did a pretty good job.
Another big pack there, isn't it? We've got Ryan, Phil Sel McLeod, Kelly and Maris. 8 through 12. Those drivers have been turning it up for us tonight, big time.
Tell you what, I reckon Jared would be fairly keen. He'd be fairly happy with his first outing here in the top split. Hasn't done a bad job considering he started in 10th and now he finds himself in 9th place, but he's really been in the thick of it and had some great passing manoeuvres all those long.
It's not been an easy race for him. This 9th place, he's definitely earned it, but look at Maris. Maris letting Kelly know he's there.
Oh, nice and close.
He's
into the
there,
bus
all
stop.
right.
Oh, Kelly's had a moment though, a little bit sideways. Maris will look for the inside. Can he get the job done? Contact! He's gone! Kelly's round. Maris has made contact with him. But that's what you get. He looked like he just closed the little door there, and unfortunately, that sent Sean off into a spin. Check out the action on the race recall replay. Unbelievable. Just Kelly got a little bit sideways, and Maris was keen to make the position. Got a nose up inside there, and unfortunately made the back contact there of Kelly. And Kelly went round. Actually, did a good job to keep it off the wall, but gave up a couple of spots there. Unfortunately, it looked like Bo Cattell and Chad Chastain got past him, but across to Reese in the pits thanks to Astro Gaming headsets.
Yeah, guys, I've got a little bit of context for that incident between Sean Kelly and George Maris, possibly. I've been told by my TTR spy guy that Kelly's graphics card is playing up and his screen is all messed up.
Oh, so technical issues there. That's huge. That's distracting too. So unfortunately, maybe that had a little bit to do with contact with him and Maris. So unfortunate there for Kelly.
Whilst that was happening though, check out this battle for the lead. 0.3 of a second separating John Emerson and Madison down. They're going to cross the start-finish line for another time. We'll begin lap 39 of 53. Just feel that there's going to be more coming. You know that Madison Down's going to be hungry. You know that Emerson's going to want this win more than anything else. What they said out to do was to win. Got to make it happen first though.
Yeah, it's a long time to hold off Madison Down too. If John's just saving something, that'll work in his favour. But if he's pushing as hard as he can, and Madison's closing that margin, he's going to have a tough trot for the.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Race.
Big draft. Emerson goes defensive. They run side by side into the bus stop. Down going to try and get a cleaner run.
Looks like he just lost a little bit of margin coming into the chicane, but it looks like he's slowly gathering up. He's not short of speed there, Madison Down in the Tats.com Falcon.
I think that time loss was more down to Emerson's smart defensive driving. He knows just got to stay in front. He's going to do anything he can to make that happen.
Oh, a little bit sideways there. Might be a good chance to, as we take a bit of an onboard action look of our championship leader Madison Down as he tries to chase down John Emerson in the Good Game Falcon. Great action as we ride on board the Tats.com Falcon of Madison Down, trying to chase down John Emerson. And how good is it just to see these onboard pictures, just to see where these guys position the cars. Nice and close into turn 1 from Madison down now.
Love seeing the wheel work on the exit of those corners. It's like driving on ice, some people say these things are, these V8 supercars. And to balance that is a skill that not many people have got, but these guys are the best in the business, and it's exciting to watch them. Madison with a big run down on the back straight here.
They've opened up quite a margin now over Michael Fabian. He's now 2.8 seconds back from these two. So at the moment, these guys are concentrating on themselves, but doesn't take much. We've already seen some contact through the race, and only takes one little whoopsie, and Fabian will be right back in the thick of things. But Emerson,
big slide, Emerson.
Just touching the grass there, lucky to keep it nice and straight.
Once again, you see him just position the car on the defensive line. Let Madison know that he's not going to make it easy for him, but Madison down is right there. He's hustling the back of the good game car. Going to begin lap 42 this time by, so 11 laps to go. Race is a long way from done yet. Still no retirements either. 22 drivers, 22 running.
Yeah, it's great to see. It's a credit to the guys that take part. It's a long race, 53 laps around here, and we've already been racing for 50 odd minutes maybe at this stage, so the guys are doing a sensational job, but how's the pressure up front between Emerson and Down?
This is it. You know that this is the win right here.
Oh, a little bit of contact there to the back of Emerson. Looks like Down maybe had a bit of a run there and just didn't quite judge. He was trying to pull out from the back there of Emerson and maybe made just a slight bit of nose-to-tail contact there.
Emerson's definitely drawn his line in the sand. He's going to fight hard, and he's going to fight until the end to maintain this position and to earn this win. So this is going to be a brilliant fight to the finish. These guys are going to race harder than you've ever seen. So I think both of these guys will do anything to win this race right now.
And if any of that straight line speed is anything to go by, I would imagine that Madison Down's probably thinking about a move into that back chicane, because that pace he had coming down that back straight, and obviously having a bit of that draft is huge. It plays a massive key, and that's probably where he'll think about setting up Emerson coming into that bus stop chicane.
His car looks very tidy on the exits. Emerson sometimes looks a little bit unkempt on the exit of 1, which hurts his run up through the S's, which in turn hurts his run down to the bus stop.
Here we go. Here's a good chance to check out our chopper camera. You can see the lines between the two. You can see that Down starting to close up that margin. You can see their braking zones into the chicane. Oh, a big cut there from Emerson. Hopefully he didn't get too much of a penalty for that.
That's probably the 3rd or 4th time that Madison probably have enough speed to get side by side with Emerson. But Emerson just keeping his head, keeping his cool, and running just a steady defensive line, which you're allowed to do, of course, and that's just allowing him to maintain position.
Nice game there for Down under brakes to the back of Emerson. So it's a good game, Falcon versus the Tats.com Falcon in the closing laps. We're inside 10 laps to go here at Watkins Glen for round 10 of the iRacing V8 Supercar Series. And what a show these guys are putting on.
Whilst that's been happening, easy to forget that there's still a lot more happening in this race. Val Ritchie's still holding down 4th position. Rance Brookman in 5th. Ellis and Hill running 6th and 7th behind them. So those guys are still going to be fighting hard for their own races. A bit further back in the top 10 though, we've got Jared Philsell still with Mitch McLeod for company. Those guys have been sort of glued at the hips all race long. Trying to chase down Brad Ryan, who managed to get to the front of this pack. We've got Maris and Chastain just on the outside of the top 10 looking in.
Nice little battle back here for 16th and 17th. Wayne Burke, Marlon McMullen. Marlon just moving around the back there. Oh, gets a little bit in deep there to the back of Wayne Burke. Didn't make contact, so nice bit of driving there. And looks like Wayne Burke may have disappeared off the screen there a little bit.
Not what you want to see. Jump back to the lead here. 0.2 of a second was the margin of the line. We're going to have another run down the back straight. 9 laps to go. This is where Madison Down has looked strong, but John Emerson's a wake up to it. He's not going to let anything happen into that bus stop.
We hear reports we may have lost Wayne Burke. Looked like he was just glitched a little bit there when we were looking at him with that battle with Marlon McMullen, and we're hearing reports he may have fallen out of the server, unfortunately. He has a closing margin, Madison Down. Really good under brakes, but tell you what, if Emerson just plays what he's been doing, plays cards the way he has the last couple of laps, he's been finding good pace through those S's, and if he can carry that speed down that back straight, it really limits Madison Down to make that move into the bus stop chicane.
I think that Emerson is being very smart about it. He's just driving his race, driving his line, but his line is you're not passing me into the bus stop. Look at Madison Down. He hasn't been this close through the S's yet. I think we're going to see Emerson tuck into the inside. He does that.
He's got good pace. He's going to be asking a lot if they're going to go side by side into the chicane. These guys, plenty of respect, side by side. Emerson cuts across a little bit of the grass. Nearly nose to tails contact there between him and Down, but great bit of racing there. Wow, that's the last thing you want to do side by side through there when you're battling for the lead.
Oh, these guys are not going to give each other an inch. There's not going to be a millimetre more space than what they need. Geez, that's about as close as you can get through that bus stop without it ending in tears. Brilliant job by Emerson to hold on.
He did it. He knew too. He knew coming in through those S's that Down was closer than he probably had been the last couple of laps. So he had to be very cautious. He had to drive his defensive line. He did a great job, but the game's not over yet. There's still plenty of laps up his sleeve, and the pressure is still thick there with Madison Down.
Hats off to Andrew Casey for just pulling aside to let this battle continue. We love the sportsmanship that you see in this series. Great to see drivers who know that there's a fantastic race going on. 7 laps to go.
Just checking out the times. We're hearing Fabian's closed up 4 tenths just with that slight little battle between those guys in the bus stop chicane. So it's not over for Fabian. You never know what could happen. Unfortunately, sometimes contact does happen, and it does happen between leaders too. So barring any misfortune for these guys, you just never know how it may play out for Fabian. Looks like Mitch is just trying to make a bit of a margin with Jared here coming through the bus stop chicane. Really applying the pressure there back to the V8 Supercar Fan Group Falcon. Really good battle between these guys, and I think Jared will be fairly chuffed with his first outing in the main game.
Brilliant drive by the rookie. Showing a lot of these veterans how it's done. McLeod will be sitting there going, geez, how do I get around this guy? Who is he? I've not raced with him before. What's he doing in front of me? Oh, speaking of that, side by side, he nearly gets the move done, but Philcell's going to have to run off the final turn.
Yeah, he carried that speed down the front straight. Mitch is just going to have to tuck in behind, but yeah, nice bit of heads-up driving there for Philcell. Check out the race recall replay and see it all unfold, and yeah, it's great heads-up driving between those two. He carried that pace, Jared, down that front straight, and Mitch really had no say. He just had to tuck in behind and yeah, just think about his next move.
That's a sign of driving with your head there from Philcell. He knew that McLeod was side by side, but knew that if he just kept his head about him, got a good run off the corner, he'd be able to take the position back. And so, great bit of driving there, Jared.
Tell you what, man up front, John Emerson, he's definitely driving with his head. He knows what part of the racetrack that Madison's fast. He knows that he needs to just protect his line. You can see Madison's right there in the closing laps. Look at that move that he just makes under brakes. He's really closes up to the back of the Good Game Falcon, but this is where Emerson needs to carry his speed through this S's and stop that charge from down that back straight.
5 laps to go. Do you think that we could be seeing Madison looking for another option, another way around? He's been lining him up down into the bus stop, and Emerson has been making sure it's not going to happen. We're going to see the same again. Emerson moving across to...
Oh.
Not quite.
Oh, I wasn't sure how that was going to unfold, but Emerson's in the seat, isn't he? He knows that all he has to do is just cover his line a little bit coming into that chicane, because it really is tough to make the pass anywhere else. Possibly into turn one. We've seen a couple of guys make a nice move there, but Down really needs to concentrate and be close enough where he can use that draft to his advantage.
The thing that Emerson is doing well is that he's not driving beyond his limits. We can see that Madison Down has definitely got a better run through the S's each time, but Emerson's aware of that. He's keeping his head about him, and he's holding position each time.
Down just a little bit sideways on exit there, just a little bit of a wiggle, just enough to Emerson just to hold that margin, 0.3 of a second, but look at that margin close up under brakes.
Another fight that's starting to close up as we head down to the final stage of this race. Lee Ellis chasing down Renz Brookman. This has gotten a bit closer over time. Looks like Ellis has got a little bit of pace over Renz at the moment.
Just to tell you, it's hard to look away from this front battle in the closing laps. You can see, man, I love watching races like this. You hate being it's nervous when you're in the race seat, but you enjoy these race battles. But I think I'm glad I'm up in the commentary box for this one, because the pressure that Emerson will be feeling for Down in these closing laps will be huge. So it's the end of lap 50 for these guys. John Emerson leads over Madison Down. The margin just 0.3 of a second. And you can see that Madison Down really just needs to hold his line, get a good run up through the S's and see if he can carry that speed. Maybe a little bit of a wiggle there for Emerson just on exit there, but still holding station. These guys just closing up a little bit down, just a little bit. Oh, contact. Maybe made a little bit of slight contact with the guardrail there, but definitely bounced off the curb.
If he caught that wall, it's not going to stop him. 3 laps to go, it's going to be hard till the end. But just watching where these guys are making their speed, I think that Emerson is strong on these last 3 corners, carousel and then the final 2. But he's maybe losing a bit of time in turn 1 on the exit there. You see him running wide over that curb towards the end. And that's giving Madison that big run onto the back straight. But as long as Emerson runs defensive there, there's not anything Madison can do. What he really needs to try, what he's probably going to try and set him up for, is a strong run out of this final turn. But Emerson is still just getting a nice tidy drive off that final corner. Across the line now for 2 laps to go. 2/10 between first and second place.
Oh, it doesn't get much better than this. Watkins Glen has really turned it on. 53 laps around here. These guys are going to be absolutely exhausted after this one, but sensational racing up the front between Emerson and Down. The battle for the lead with 2 laps to go.
Here we go once again. Big run towards the bus stop. Emerson stays to the right. Madison's got nowhere to go. And then Emerson made... Oh,
contact! Down's off, he's shot up through the grass, that's race over! He's going to get a cut track penalty, he's going to have to slow down, but looks like he just got a little bit loose, maybe a little bit of contact between him and Emerson, and that is race over for Madison Down.
They definitely made contact in the turn-in part of that chicane. Not sure how it happened, not sure what it was. We'll have to check that one after the race. We'll see if we can bring that up on a race recall replay.
Unbelievable. Looks like, side by side through there. Looks like the right front of Down just made contact with the left rear of Emerson, and that just fired him through the grass. So unfortunately, he got a cut track penalty for that and has to slow down. So that will hand the win to John Emerson.
Wow, that's an exciting battle between these 2 drivers. But I tell you what, man, good to have you back. It's been a long time, buddy, and what a way to get back into it. Why don't you call us home to the finish for this one?
Mate, it's been a sensational race. The battle between Emerson and Down, it was heating up, we could see. And Emerson knew exactly where Down was strong. He knew that if Down was going to make the charge, Emerson was going to make him go around the long way, and that's exactly what happened. The guys had a good battle coming into the final chicane, but in the mid-chicane, but unfortunately it was Madison Down who fired up through the grass. Emerson's been strong all race long, sat back in the early stages of this, and had a little bit of pit strategy to get him out on front. It's been a great run. He's been strong all season. It's been great to see John Emerson up front of the Good Game Falcon. But he's only got a couple of turns to go here at Watkins Glen for round 10 of the iRacing V8 Supercar Series. It's been a great battle. Fantastic to watch between him and Down. He comes through the final turn. It's been a great race. It'll take the win. The checkered flag for John Emerson for round 10 here at Watkins Glen.
Madison Down does manage to hold on for second. Michael Fabian on the podium in third. Brilliant drive by those top three. They were the class of the field for sure, but the rest of the field, Ritchie's fourth, Brookman fifth, Ellis sixth, Hill in seventh.
Oh, it's a drag race to the finish here. Jared's in there. Chad Chastain's all mixed up. These guys battling it out. That's for, what's that, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th?
I think Marish stole 10th there at the line.
Fantastic effort there for George Barris to pinch 10th. He started back in 22nd. Well, that race had a little bit of everything. Sensational battle up front, and boy, oh boy, Watkins Glen really turned it on.
It was an exciting race, start to finish. I don't think we would have, well, after how good it was last season, I'm not sure if I was ready for this one. That was a brilliant battle. I love seeing these fights between two drivers, and it didn't disappoint at all.
The last couple of drivers crossed the line, Justin Ruggier, Michael Schreier, and well, that's it. 53 laps. Watkins Glen really turned it on. We'll quickly run through the order. It was John Emerson in the Good Game Falcon taking the win over Madison Down in second place. Michael Fabian in third, Var Riches in fourth, Renz Brookman in fifth, Lee Ellis in sixth, Matthew Hill in seventh place, Brad Ryan eighth, Mitch McLeod ninth, and a great drive from George Maris starts dead last to take 10th place.
Yeah, brilliant drive by Maris there, but the rookie of the race, Jared Filsell, crossing the line in 11th and surrounded by some veteran drivers. Chad Chastain from V8's America home in 12th, Bo Cattell, Sean Kelly and Ian Ford rounding out the top 15. Marlon McMullen and Tobias Cerny, the Powerbond cars. Dean O'Brien, Justin Ruggier, who unfortunately had troubles, and Michael Schreier in 20th.
In 21st, we have Andrew Casey, who stuck it out, finished one lap down. Great job for him, and a nice effort for him to get out of the leader's way towards the end there. And our only DNF for the night, Wayne C. Burke, who unfortunately had some internet dramas there. So well done to everyone to actually finish the race. Obviously, Wayne would have finished the race, but got caught out from some technical issues. But brilliant race, no matter where we looked all night long.
Didn't matter if they were fighting for first, 15th, wherever. Brilliant, brilliant fights through the field. And Watkins Glen continues to be a favourite for drivers, for spectators. I love the place. I love watching racing here. And can't ask for much more than that.
All right, we'll just as we get a couple of drivers to join us here in the commentary box. Sensational racing. We got here, looks like Marlon McMullen's joined us in the commentary box. Marlon finishing in 16th place tonight. Tough race.
Yeah, well, it wasn't really the brightest return back after a couple of weeks off, but you know, it didn't really have the best qualifying, so I just went out there in the quali and just raced around on Tobias's race set. And you know, if any casualties or victims occurred tonight, that was going to be really how I was going to get positions. And, you know, there were, and had a really awesome battle with Wayne throughout the race. I'm not sure what happened to him, if he got disqualified of the incidents, but, you know, it was really awesome pressure racing between him and I. And then Tobias at the end, yeah, awesome battle with him as well at the end.
It may not have been the best of qualifying sessions, mate, but at least you made your way up through the field. If you started 21st and finished 16th, couldn't have slipped too much further back, but at least you did make some gains.
That's exactly right, Sam. It's better forward than going backwards. So, you know, we'll take what we can after tonight, and, you know, we'll come back stronger next week at Virginia, one of my personal favourite tracks.
All the best for that, mate. We'll have a quick look. It looks like our race leader, John Emerson, joins us, a race winner, I should say, joins us in the commentary box. Fantastic battle between you, Emo, and Madison Down.
Yeah, that was a really tough race. He had such better lap speed than I did, and I knew that he was on the same gear ratio, so the only spot that he could have got me was the bus stop, and I drove the alternate line there more than once, and racking up those 1Xs into the bus stop and almost got there, disqualified there at the end, and was lucky that contact with him wasn't a 4X, otherwise it would have been gone. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that.
Mate, great pit strategy to get that margin over the boys. It was we thought you may have been saving fuel. We rode on board there for a lap or so, and we sort of may have got the feeling that you were saving fuel. But that jump in pit lane was sensational.
Yeah, I've got Michael Fabian to thank for that in the early race. He pretty much did that to me in the early race. So I thought, oh well, I'm not going to try and lead the race because you're just going to burn fuel. So sitting behind them, yeah, I saved tons. I only took something like 64 litres at the pit stop or something like that. So yeah, I was pretty chuffed with that. It was great.
And second win of the season, mate. Great win at Bathurst, and mate, a sensational race. You really had to earn it tonight. It was really good to watch.
Yeah, that was super pressure. I couldn't make a mistake anywhere, and I knew if I did, then Madison would jump all over me. I was saving fuel that whole second stint as well, so he was just pressuring me the whole way. I'm just glad I held strong, and yeah, I'm glad that nothing more happened with that incident in the bus stop. Otherwise, yeah, it would have been race over, I think.
It was a close call. It was sensational to watch, mate, and the other driver that played part in that awesome battle, Madison Down, mate. Great to watch for that battle between you and John, but we all held our breath going into that bus stop chicane.
Yeah, I can't say I sat back and watched John win, put it that way. I definitely had a go at him on several occasions, but great drive by John, outsmarted us a little bit. I did have the feeling he was doing that in the first stint, but I also assumed I was going to pull more margin, but I made a really big mistake in the first stint, and it cost me about a second, so it undid about half an hour's worth of work. So that was a little bit disappointing, but no, good race overall, good for the championship, good bag of points, and yeah, good fun battle.
The pace he carried through those S's and down that back straight obviously helps with the toe, but that was incredible to watch. And I guess in years gone by, those S's really haven't been a favourite part of this racetrack for you.
No, well, I did clear out the wall just the once there, and I was lucky because behind John, the car had a lot of understeer up there, as it would have for everybody. But I think my car was actually quite good there this season. I seemed to be getting good runs, even in the first stint. I seemed to be pulling margin up through that S-bend. So just the car was a bit of a dog through the bus stop and off the carousels, so couldn't really do too much there. But pretty good result at Watkins. Watkins has actually changed to be a bit of a good track for me in recent seasons, so yeah, didn't disappoint tonight either.
Fast running out of rounds, obviously round 10 tonight, next week round 11 VIR, mate. Your thoughts heading into that one?
Yeah, obviously the championship's starting to look better and better for me, and really I just want to try and keep grabbing podiums like tonight and hopefully just keep banking those points. And VIR for me in the past probably hasn't been the greatest of tracks, but I feel like we can win another one there this season. I wouldn't mind to win a few more before the season ends. It hasn't been the greatest season for wins for me. I've been pretty consistent, but haven't got many wins on the board, so I'd love to get a win next week.
Well, great show, mate, between you and Emerson. It was sensational watch, and all the best for your preparations for next week.
Thanks, Sam, man.
Across to a guy you know and one of your teammates, Lee Ellis. Lee, sixth place for you tonight, but you were in the thick of it most of the night, all night long.
I know. I got home at as I was entering the race, so it was a bit touchy there. But no, it was great. I had fun. I wasn't where I wanted to quali. Couldn't find a draft partner in time, and yeah, I was probably about 6 or 7 spots away from where I wanted it to be. But just constantly on people's tails. So the car was alright. It was a bit sketchy through the S's, but besides that, it was a good race. I had fun.
I was going to touch on that. P15, not normally somewhere we'd see you back there, but to bounce back and finish P6, it's not a bad effort considering.
Cheers, man. Yeah, it's a bit of luck. Great pit stop. I don't quite know what happened, but we must have hired the Red Bull guys for a race and jumped about 4 or 5 people. So I almost got Renz on the out of there, but he just had the draft on me, so I wasn't going to fight it. I think Hilly probably had a better car than me, so without draft he would have got me. But yeah, it was a good race between between everyone, really. Well done.
It was a great race, and speaking of Renz, we'll have a chat to him now. He's joined us in the commentary box. Renz, good battle there. As Lee was saying, it was good to watch.
Yeah, it was a good race, to be honest. Not too much exciting stuff, which is really a good thing. So I can finish, but yeah, no, it was good fun.
How's your preparations coming into this week, mate? It's one of those racetracks. You carry all that speed through the S's, and you got to get the bus stop chicane right. But then you got to be careful about the new rule that iRacing's brought in with not too many off tracks, because it can disqualify you from the race.
Yeah, I'm not really looking at it, to be honest. I think you have to take quite a few off tracks before they get disqualified. So no, that's fine, really. But I was struggling with the car setup a lot. Car seems to be just really slow on the straight lines. Not really sure why, but.
Well, all the best for next week, mate. We head to VIR. You looking forward to that one?
Yeah. Been a while since I raced there, to be honest. But I remember a few good races. Yeah.
Well, all the best for next week, mate, and appreciate you stopping by here at V8 Online.
Yeah, thank you.
A man who joined us for our hot lap, Ocatel, didn't have the greatest of races. What did we finish at 13, mate? And you were in the thick of it too.
Yeah, it was just a few little things that mucked me up, but it's really, really hard to pass. So once I did drop back into that 13, I thought, I'll short fill it, but it turned out everyone else did. So that went out the window, and just held on to Chad, and we caught up to the train, and yeah, just really hard to pass. But I was happy with the car and happy for the team to not get DQ'd. Could have happened easily.
Is that something you were very mindful? It's so easy to do in that bus stop chicane, isn't it? When you can just grab just a little bit too much curb and it gives you an off track.
Yeah, that's right. I sort of had a few up my sleeve, and as I was trying to push harder, I was getting one a lap and sort of had to pull my head in a bit.
It was a great racing to watch, mate. And man, you put on a good battle there with Sean Kelly, who just finished behind you in P14. You had some interesting race action there too. Looks like you made a bit of contact with the wall there in the early stages. Is that right?
Me? No, I don't think I battled Bo either. But yeah, sure, had a fun race. I was in the thick of it at times, and yeah, I was just out there to have a bit of fun. And I tweaked the cambers before the race, and I think that was the wrong move because it's sliding all over the place. And then about 32 laps in, my graphics went completely haywire, and I couldn't really see anything. I was losing pit objects and braking markers, and just had a bunch of triangles all over my screen. So yeah, and pulled too far forward in the pits, and that didn't help either. But it was alright. I had a bunch of fun anyway.
Did a good job to. I think it was you can have out of the bus stop chicane, having a big moment through that right hand sweeper.
Yeah, had a few moments through there. I think shot up alongside Renz at one point, and I think there's four of us been pretty tight confined. So yeah, that was pretty touch and go, but we all got through it all right.
And how about next week, mate? VIR, how does that sit on the favourites list?
Oh yeah, love VIR. It's a great technical track, and it was pretty fast here last time. So hopefully we can do it again. But yeah, the guys are getting so fast now. It's just really intense and really hard to keep with them.
Also join us in the commentary box, Ian Ford. Started P13, finished 15th, mate. Tough race.
Not really. It was a lonely race after the first corner, but I was just glad to hold on to 15th with no damage.
How do you find this circuit, mate? It's one of those places I love going up through the S's there, but holding it flat out there in the early start, fresh tyres is pretty easy. But as the race gets on and you've got a lot of pressure from behind, it does get a little bit tricky.
Oh, that's it. It's one of the last of the true great circuits. Only small modifications to it for safety, and going up the hill full flat, there's nothing like it.
And how about next week, mate? Preparations for VIR. You looking forward to that one?
Oh yeah, it'll be my last true round for the season, I think. Don't like Montreal, so I'll put all effort into next week.
All the best, mate. We look forward to seeing how you perform, and it'll all start with qualifying through the week. So all the best, mate.
Thank you, and I'd also like to say happy birthday to my missus. She's turned 21 this week.
Oh, there we go. Happy birthday. We always love a good shout out to you of V8s Online. And I believe Joe Kennedy's, speaking of birthdays, his birthday's coming up, might be on Wednesday. So happy birthday to Joe as well for the upcoming week. Who else is joining us? Tobias, is he still around? Tobias, you there, mate?
Yeah, hey guys.
How are you, mate? P17 for the night.
Yeah, difficult track, I would say. If you're looking at the quali times and the race pace, you see how bunched up the total field is, and not many errors were made. So yeah, only one car got disqualified during the race. No big crashes, so very difficult. And as Ian said after the start, I saw him in the fence, so I slowed a little bit down because I saw a big break coming up, but didn't happen, and I lost a few positions. I was P21. Yeah, and climbed back to P17 again. But overall, not a good week for us.
It's one thing we were sort of talking about in the commentary box, the fear at the start of this race, if there was back through those S's on the first lap, it gets very narrow through there, and a couple of cars have an incident and get sideways, it could turn very ugly very fast.
Yeah, indeed. I also noticed that my car wasn't that good in slipstream, so I was able to do high 11s without slipstream, but with slipstream it's got difficult through the S's. Car got light, got slidey at the rear. So I'm looking forward to next week and the final one.
Well, all the best for next week, mate, and I bring on VIR. Really looking forward to it. If the racing's anything to go by tonight, Leo, be an absolute pearler.
That's right, Sam, man. It's been a fantastic season all round. There's been brilliant races start to finish, and 2 rounds left to go before we crown another champion. VIR, Montreal, 2 great circuits, 2 great races. Bring it on. We can't wait.
And Reese, thank you very much for your efforts in pit lane, mate. It was good to see some of these guys mixing up a bit of strategy in tonight's race.
Oh yeah, definitely. It was a fantastic race here at Watkins Glen this week, and I'm certainly looking forward to the final 2 races of this season. It's going to be absolutely fantastic.
Well, that'll about do us for round 10 here at Watkins Glen. It's been a great race. Hope you tune in next week for round 11 of VIR. You've been watching V8 Online's live and exclusive bridge of the iRacing V8 Supercars official online series. Proudly brought to you by good friends at V8 Supercar Fan Group, Direct Clutch Services, and of course our very own V8's Online Superstore. Your winner for round 10, John Emerson.